Yes, I believe that this is the fifth video. I think last video I said it was the third video, and actually it was the fourth video. But nonetheless, we are going to continue on with our personality disorders. Remember, I may have stated this, I'll state it again. The personality disorders comes in three overall clusters, or you might say baskets, and they put so many personality disorders in this basket, and so many in this basket, and so many in this basket. We have 10 altogether. Going back to the Tetratki with perfect 10. So we have 10 personality disorders. I suppose that there's overlapping of some of the personality disorders. We may also have the aspect of comorbidity. In other words, individual may have a personality disorder, and they may also be depressed. And so that would be a comorbid situation, having two or more disorders. All right, we are starting with the odd, the bizarre, and the eccentric. Sounds kind of exciting, doesn't it? All right, we have paranoid personality disorder. Now we are in this chapter 12. We're no longer in chapter 5. In chapter 5, PD stood for panic disorder. Now it's paranoid personality disorder, schizoid personality disorder, and schizotypal. Okay, paranoid. These individuals are fearful. They feel as though that everyone is out to get them. And possibly with a lot of these disorders, there's no escape. So being very fearful is a good descriptor of these personality disorders. And they have some, delusions about who's going to get them. I recall a woman I had to release to go ahead and discuss this with you, but they were out to get her. And I said, well, who is they? Safeway and the FBI are out to get me. Okay, that is fearful. Then we have the next one, which is schizoid. These people here really don't care for the outside world. They have their own inner world. And I would almost say, with schizoid, if we had to tag one as being a hermit, it would probably be a schizoid. They like inner self. They like to be by self. Now, they don't want a social relationship or a sexual relationship, just self. Schizotypal is a little bit different, bordering close to the line of schizophrenia, and the line is very blurred right here. But they do odd things. They say odd things. They may dress differently. Like I said, oddity of appearance. So we have paranoid, schizoid, schizotypal. Now remember, that's cluster A, that's odd, bizarre, and eccentric. Now, cluster B, dramatic and erratic. Antisocial personality disorder, sociopath, starting out probably as a youngster who, is harmful to animals, and then growing up to be a sociopath. They know right from wrong. They don't care. They know right from wrong, but they don't care. It's just like recently heard of a couple that split up. Well, one half of the couple had been seeing someone else, but yet in appearance with the original couple, everything was great. It's almost as though they were doing wrong, but they don't care. All right, borderline. Oh, is this an interesting one? Is this an interesting one? Yes, we have a lot of aspects here with borderline. These individuals who are borderline lack a sense of self. And there's many things that can go along wrong with this. They are searching for self. There was a movie that was out, I think, with Michael Douglas, Fatal Attraction, and supposedly the woman in that was borderline, and borderline probably between a schizophrenic type approach or disorder and a personality disorder. They lack a sense of self. Uh, so often they are neurotic, and many times it will be just be women because it feels as though that a common background of a borderline personality uh, is an individual that is suffering from child abuse as a child. Uh, yeah, I don't know how else you suffer child abuse, but being a child, but nonetheless, except that's what's very serious, very interesting. Histrionic personality disorder. Oh my, histrionic. They're the life of the party. Again, I think usually, not always, but usually a woman coming into a party, seeing a group of men, and then going over there to the group of men, abandoning the women. You know, we go to a party and we might have a group of men here visiting, a group of women here visiting. Well, the histrionic individual, being a woman, wants to be with a group of men. I mean, they feel as though they're the life of the party and nobody can live without them. They also exaggerate. They'll walk up a flight of stairs and they'll say, wow, that was 1,000 steps in that one flight of stairs. And so they have a tendency to exaggerate. The narcissistic individual was named after narcissism. We have individuals like this. They are in love with themselves. Absolutely. And if you remember, Narcissus admired his reflection in the pond, and he would look in the pond and he'd admire his reflection. So, and you recall the story of what happened to him after that. But anyway, we have antisocial, borderline, histrionic, and narcissistic in cluster B. Cluster C, the anxious and the fearful, avoidant. Oh my. It's almost like agoraphobia. They want to avoid any type of situation that could be negative. Then we have the dependent. These individuals are, well, they have a difficult time of doing anything for themselves. They really do. They're very dependent. Could go into codependency. I'm not going to go into codependency right now, but they are dependent on others for help. Then we have the obsessive compulsive personality disorder. Now, do not confuse this, as happens so often, with the obsessive compulsive disorder, where individuals going in and out of a room have to flick the light switch 50 times, that they have this routine. Obsessive compulsive personality disorders are individuals who can be very organized, very neat, and place for everything in its place. My socks for my left foot goes in this drawer, for the right foot goes in this drawer, that type of thing. I know individuals that would have, and this really isn't a bad thing, but I just haven't thought of it. But every Sunday evening for the entire week, 5 days, 5 work days, they would hang out their clothes. Of course, they would check the weather first, and they would want to make sure that their clothes would be appropriate as far as weight is concerned to the weather conditions and what they were going to be wearing. But invariably, they would go ahead and line up their clothes, right foot, socks in the right drawer, left foot, socks in the left drawer, down to even their undergarments. They would want to make sure that they had appropriate undergarments for a certain day. Okay, 3 clusters of personality disorders, 10 different disorders. And I'll probably be visiting with you when we get to chapter 13, hope all is going well. Hope you're not being slowed up any by me changing the routine just a little bit. If you find as though that you have all the work completed and you need more to do or want to do, just let me know, and I will reschedule my time so we can get this material on for you. But then, in the meantime, you folks enjoy yourself, and we're on chapter 12. We'll be headed into chapter 13, which is schizophrenia.